Hi, I'm Tommy Gibbs with Up Your Gross, and for over 20 years I was a new car dealer, and for the last 16 years I've been helping dealers to improve the leadership skills within their management team and to show them how to make more money with used cars. Everything that I've preached and taught over the years is based upon common sense and technology. I think you have to have a good blend of the two. Today it's very challenging in the dealership because there's so much going on. There's so much information to try to sort out. And at Up Your Gross, we make a lot of that stuff really simple. To put it in its simplest terms, we take the complicated and make it uncomplicated to give you more time to do what you're really good at, and that is selling cars. So what really is Up Your Gross? Up Your Gross is a software tool that simplifies the management of a used car operation. It's really that simple. It integrates with vAuto, so if you're not a vAuto dealer, this isn't going to help you. And we believe that vAuto has the best tool in the industry. That's why we work so close with them. It's also based on some core principles called lifecycle management and early warning radar. If you're not a believer in that, and if I can't make you a believer in that, then you're probably wasting your time looking at this video. I would suggest you click off and go make yourself more useful by selling some cars today, because this isn't going to help you if you're not a believer in that. So let's dig in and see what happens when you first click on the software. You see something called the scoreboard. I'm going to give you a very brief overview of this system. I'm not going to try to give you everything that it does, but I want to show you the key components of it. The scoreboard is a place where every dealer, every general manager, every general sales manager, and certainly every used car manager should take a look at each day. It doesn't require a lot of time and energy on your part. As a matter of fact, to manage the system only requires about 10 minutes each day of the used car manager's part. So when you first look at it, you see the scoreboard. We show you your total investment, and we're trying to point a couple of things out to you. One of them is called 30/30 Health Check. One of them is called Dead Inventory. So in the 30/30 Health Check, we're going to show you what the average grosses are as you have them listed on the internet right now on your inventory in terms of what's under 30 days old in the average gross. In this example, the average gross on all these cars that this dealer has that are under 30 days old is $29.54. Those that are over 30 days old, it's $903. You're not making much money on those cars that are over 30, and by the way, they're dragging your average gross profit down on everything else. If everything was to hold true, and this dealer sold everything for the internet price, which isn't likely, the average gross would drop down to $16.41. Now, on the right-hand side, we have dead inventory. We show you the total amount of money you have tied up in wholesale and retail and a few other items. But the bottom line here is anything that's expired retail-wise, you're not going to make any money on them. So what we mean by expired is our system defaults to 60 days. Lifecycle management and early warning radar is a big part of this system. So if you're using it correctly, you're not going to give every unit a 60-day shelf life. Some units only deserve 45 or 30 or even 20. So if you gave a unit 45 days old and it's 46, it has expired its life cycle. That's what we mean by expired retail. The odds of making money on anything that's expired is not very good for you. So we're trying to show you how much money you've got that's tied up that's not going to be profitable for you moving forward. You'll notice here it's called Internet Explorer. So as we scroll down and we take a look at Internet Explorer, it's kind of a bubble chart. Well, it is a bubble chart. And each of the bubbles represents a unit in your inventory. And the bigger the bubble, the bigger the investment. And the bubbles are color-coded based on whether you trade the car, purchase the car, it's an ex-rental car, custom acquisition, and that sort of thing. So you can look at a glance and see where your inventory is coming from. This is a small sample of a small dealer that we're using, but it's very telling, no doubt. So as we look at the bubbles, you'll notice here, before I even get into the bubbles, you'll notice two red lines. There's a gross profit red line that says 0. Anything above it is profitable, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and so on. Anything below it, you're not making any money. There's also another red line at the 40-day mark. We're simply saying to you that all the information that we've studied over the year, all the data we've looked at says that once you get past 40 days, ROI and gross profit goes south in a hurry. So we're trying to get you to pay attention to all the inventory that's on the right-hand side of that bubble, because over here, there's not much money going to be made. Remember I said to you, the bigger the bubble, the bigger the investment. So if I click on this big bubble right here, it'll tell me all I want to know about that car. So if you're the dealer and you want to see what's going on, click on the bigger bubbles just for grins and giggles. Click on those bubbles and it'll tell you about the car. This car, we've had it for 45 days. We gave it a 60-day life cycle. We've got 14 days to go. We're trying to make $4,100 on it. The ROI is below the benchmark of 110% already. That's because of the number of days and certainly the amount of money. We got $30,000 in that car. If I want to take a look at that car, click on the bubble. It's going to take me right to that car under the inventory tab. This is the inventory tab. It'll take me to that car. It tells me a whole lot of stuff about that car. It will tell me, no doubt, the stock number, the description of the vehicle, the source, where did it come from, what's the status. This is obviously a retail piece. It will further tell me, though, a lot about the aging on the car. This car is 46 days old. We gave it a 60-day shelf life. It's got 14 days to go. There's the miles on the car. And one more section over here, and this is the biggie. It shows us the cost, how we have this car priced on the internet, the predictive gross. If you sold it today for the internet price, you'd make $4,100, and your ROI, that's a predictive ROI, would be 106%. Here's the cool thing here, this review tab. If you click on the review tags tab, see here it is right here. If I click on that, it'll take me right to that car inside of Viato. So if I want to change the price on it, this is your pricing tool in Viato. It takes you right to that car. That's why it's such a benefit for us to be integrated with Viato. And now I want to go back to that to the Inventory Explorer page real quick. You'll notice here below the line, we have a bunch of units below the line. If I click on that bigger bubble right there, you'll see that this is not a terribly expensive car, but it is hurting us. This car right here, we've had it for 48 days. It's got 12 days left to go in its life cycle of 60. It was obviously an auction purchase. We're losing $431 on it. The ROI is at 19%. Again, it's a way for you to identify what's going on with just a few clicks in your inventory. So if we go back over here to the inventory page, there's a tab called Close Tab. It's a whole lot of tabs up here that give you some really great information about how you're trending. But if you go to the Close tab, what that means is these are cars that have left your system over the last 60 days. They're no longer in the inventory. They're gone. We don't really know what happened to them. We do know this, though. We know that when the car first left your inventory, when it left the inventory, you had it listed on the internet for a $3,200 profit, and we know that if you actually sold it for that, the ROI is over 1,000%. But that's not necessarily what you made on the car. So if you want to track some other things, if you go to the Gross tab, which is right beside it, here's a Close tab here. There's a Close tab. There's the Gross tab. If you click on that, it says Front Gross. You can actually put in the front gross that you made on the car. You put in the $2,000 in this example, and now it calculates the full picture for you. It's going to tell you the gap. Gap is giveaway profit. That's the difference between the internet price and the transaction price. It's important to track that. We're becoming a one-price dealer whether we want to or not, and it shows you the actual ROI. The actual ROI on this car was 635%. So if you're interested in tracking it, you can do that. You can download spreadsheets that gives you all the information you could ever want. We have a tab called Dashboard. If you go to the dashboard, it shows you something that looks a little familiar to you because it's in Viato in a different way. Viato puts things in buckets for you and shows you the grosses. We're showing you the ROI on those grosses, or at least the predictive ROI on those cars that are currently in your inventory. So at 0 to 10 days old right now, the ROI on that group of cars is 3,300%. We'll take that one. When you go down to 11 to 20 days, though, the ROI drops to 300%. You can see that the further the days go out, the worse the ROI gets. It's still pretty darn good, but here's the one that always happens. Right at that 40-day mark, see, 41 to 50 days old, the ROI always goes in the tank, and it generally speaking just gets worse and worse and worse for you. So I'm going to go to the Recon tab. If you don't have a Recon tool, you ought to consider using ours because it's free with the system, so it makes sense to use it if you don't have one. The Used Car Manager and the Service Manager or Service Writer should keep this page open all day. It's a really easy way we keep everything simple. Everything we do, we try to make it simple so there's less for you to do. We have some new tools coming on board here in the next 60 days that are going to absolutely change your world forever. It's going to make it so simple for you to manage your inventory and price your cars. You're not going to believe it when you see it. Anyhow, having said that, in the Recon tool, we have some defaults over here on the left-hand side. Let me back up. Some defaults on the left-hand side. You can add whatever stages in Recon you want to have. A lot of deals have something like in transit, and they want to track cars in transit. We can track the whole thing for you. And so it gives you a quick snapshot of what's going on. We also have a comment section. You can click on a bubble if you're the used car manager. Just send an instant message to the person you're working with in service department. As an example here, it says hold to $800. It's a really simple tool that will improve your processes through Recon and speed those things up. In order to speed them up, though, you really need to know what's going on. So if you go to the Dashboard tab and click down to the Dealer Summary, we can show you right here the average number of days it's taken to get your units through the reconditioning operation at 5.66 for this dealer. And if you scroll down a little further on that same page, it'll show you by the various departments the number of days it's taken to get cars through their part of the operation. You can't fix something unless you know about it. Hey, I'm Tommy Gibbs. Thanks for taking time to watch this video. If you would like a demo using your vAuto inventory, please reach out to me. My phone, those numbers on the screen there, my email address. I'd be happy to set it up for you. And I'll actually do the demo myself. Thanks and have a great day.